Update time. Update time. Not myself, but on what I'm experiencing right now. It's weird. With the whole earth, like, it's weird. I realized every time at like probably midnight or around midnight, close to like before it turns midnight or around 1. It never really happens around 2. But yeah, around 12 or 1 a.m. In those hours, there'd be like this weird trembling throughout. Like, first you'll hear a giant roar in the sky, and you could kind of hear it still now. Like, that's not a plane. It might sound kind of like a plane, but, well, actually, that was a plane. No, still going. It's like a roar. You hear it? It's getting louder that I'm talking about it. Yeah, screw you up and talk about you. Oh crap, it's shaking the ground again. Like I said, this, unless if it's like a giant ship or something passing over. But that's weird. This light went out. Very weird. That's not supposed to happen. There's a co-writer with me. The script is changing. Like, what's that? Like, I don't know. But every time around 12, you hear that roar in the sky. And one night, like last week, it sounded like a panther. I swear to you. I know this because in Kentucky there's panthers in that hill, the Black Panthers, and not the old gang, but the, the actual animal, the giant mountain cat, basically. To hear that in the sky is so weird, and I'm starting to think. I don't think these sounds are coming from the sun. I mean, it's like when you like try to look toward the sound, like it's you're not looking upward. You're looking more horizontal, like horizontal. Yeah, horizontally. And I think that's because the sounds are coming from beneath us. That's my theory to this. Honestly, all these sounds happening, or maybe that's just for how it is around here. Because I realized something weird. Around here, people don't talk about what's going on with the Earth. They really don't. It's like they're robots or something. I don't know. I really don't. Oh, there goes the light again. But but yeah, it's weird. Like earth trembles. That's what I could best describe it as. And it's funny because it started happening like I'd say probably 5 6 months ago, but they weren't as before 5 6 months ago. They would happen like probably once every 2 weeks or something. Now it's happening every night. And when it first started, I thought it was myself. I thought my body was shaking. I was like, okay, what's going on with my legs? Like this, I must have ate something wrong, or so. But I realized it's not me shaking. It's not my bed shaking because that's what I thought next. Maybe it's my new electronic bed. Maybe I broke it or something, and like it shakes every once in a while. But it's not that either. It's the ground shaking, trembles. My next theory is going to sound scary. Have you ever seen the movie Tremors? Yeah, yeah. Maybe like a radioactive sludge got in the dirt, and now there's a giant worm under us, making weird sounds and pushing dirt around to make these trembles. And it's getting up closer and closer to the surface because maybe it ate everything under the dirt, and now it needs to migrate like bugs do, basically. If they're getting eaten or if they run out of food where they usually stay around, they're going to migrate to a different spot, even if that spot's really bizarre, like on someone's house. So I guess a mutant creature wouldn't be any different when it come down to it. Or creatures. That's what I'm worried about. An enemy that comes from the ground, that's basically a shark on the land. You know that, right? A giant worm that attacks would be a shark. It would be. And it would basically be more dangerous than a shark because I'm pretty sure within the first year, if that theory is right and that does start happening, within the first year there'd be more giant worm attacks than shark attacks. Theory number three. I don't know. They don't want to tell us, but it's obvious. They did something to the sky to put in ourselves to make us more immune to something out there that they dirtied up or that they wouldn't be willing to clean. And probably from that caused a mutation somewhere underneath us. And of course, that's why we don't know because it's been underneath us. It's slowly seeped down lower and lower. And it's slowly, that's the thing that people got to realize that bugs and animals, they're they're not like humans. Humans, they take around like probably 5,000 years to evolve, to have something different change. Like they say for our next evolution, we're going to lose our pinkies. We're not like humans will only have four fingers like cartoons. I think that'd be cool. But because of all the texting they do and they don't use their pinkies to text. So the evolution process should mean that next thing we're going to drop off is our pinkies. We have our bodies has changed over time, but it takes so long for them to change. Now with bugs and small animals or even big animals, they evolve a lot faster, like probably within a decade or something, or 50 years at most. That's why I would say probably at 50 years with animals, giant animals. With small animals, it's probably a decade. With bugs, it's only 5 years. It takes for them to develop a new skill, to realize, last time I was alive, this was dangerous. Or luckily I grew this, now and I look a little more intimidating. It won't be as easy as, it was for them to get me in last time. That's how insects are with their evolution process. It's crazy. I've seen new insects that aren't even put in the books yet. Well, one new insect, not insects. That'd be crazy if I seen more. If I seen more, I'd be like, why are they coming to me? Like this guy, stop. um, but with that in mind, you know, if evolution could be a thing, and the mutation is a thing too. I mean, heck, there's mutated people, mutated animals, and I think one time I found a mutated bug once that was like a disc, honestly. Like it was weird. It was like a flat little circle, like a sticker I thought was, but had little legs. I was like, what is this? Probably deformed bug. And you gotta think about it. Well, like, the mutation could come from a lot of things, honestly. Even things that you think is healthy, but you overdo. You might end up um, making a mutation of your own. Because our DNA is not as it's not like made out of steel. It's not made out of stone. It's changeable and it's flexible, very flexible, and that proves it with evolution and mutation. There's if you don't believe in mutated animals, that's crazy because the story of the two-headed snake. That's a real story. There was actually two-headed snakes. There have been two-headed snakes still, skeletons and alive ones. But also, like all you have to do is look over at the chemical spill from the radioaction. Wait, I didn't. I heard some footsteps. That sound weird. But all you have to do is look over at the radioactive spill from Chernobyl. The animals around Chernobyl, some don't have heads, but they still run around like nothing's wrong. How do they? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how exactly mutations work, but the thing is, I know mutations are real. It's good to know. Preparing. And I feel like since we had that movie Tremors, maybe someone knew something about that, honestly. Like, also, there's been cartoons I remember where it's like worms will like crawl into the toxic waste and then they'll go underground and they'll grow. I think it was The Simpsons that showed that one time. Oh boy. Now I don't believe in The Simpsons predicting the future. Just because I mentioned that, I'm just trying to think of where I saw it. It probably wasn't even The Simpsons I saw it on, but probably a Cartoon Network cartoon or something like that. Something goofy, and back then, we had it grows. And that's an update with the planet around here, honestly. It still has wacky weather. It's been like that for the past 2, 3 years now, the wacky weather. You all know that. I've been talking about that. That's weird to me. Rain, snow, sun, fog. Like, honestly, you can't predict the weather around here. Well, the weather forecast can. But there'll be times where it changes out of nowhere, like complete change. And it's weird. Because like before it wasn't like that, honestly. Before, like whatever season it was, that's what weather we were getting. And it would be harsh, but it would stick with the season. Now I can't even tell what season it is most of the time. I'm not gonna lie to you all because of how the weather is. Like, yeah. But anyways, that's an update with man. Look at this thing. It looks like a lizard looking at me, but I think it's a leaf. But hold on. Moving around, see if it changes its head or something. But it's like a giant worm comes out. They're like, oh, my theory was right. And they know English. They know I'm talking about them. Get the shotgun. Oh man. Because with mutations, honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised because already it's surprising how apes are evolved. Apes are gorillas right now today are evolving to a point where there's a video out there where you show this gorilla your baby and then the gorilla runs and grabs its baby and shows it to you doing the same thing basically acting human. And then it makes me feel bad. I'm like, why do they got this animal or this human like animal in a cage? It's doing exactly what we're doing, and we're not even telling it to do it. It just on its conscious. If its conscious is that good, then why put it in a cage? Well, the world works in funny ways. And I feel like right now. Oh, another thing update. Remember that giant, well, not giant, but remember that light in the sky I showed you all, that star that shined bright with the little green and red light when we zoomed in on it? Well, I think now that since people said you can't see satellites from space, but I mean, I think it's possibly like a planet out there and probably planet Betelgeuse. Probably not. It could be any kind of planet. It could be the North Star for all I know. But what I do know is it looks different now. Yeah. It doesn't look like a ball anymore. It looks like a small star in the sky, like as if it's drawn there. Like, you know how you draw a star with its 5 points? Now it looks like that shape. It doesn't look like a circle anymore or a ball. And that's why I think it's probably Beetlejuice because that thing's about to pop, honestly. And it's probably gonna turn off our electronics and our lights for a good 2 weeks once it does. But that's if it reaches Earth. There's a chance it's not gonna reach Earth. Hopefully it don't. Because if it does reach Earth, then hopefully it just gives us a little flick. Because if it reaches Earth completely and consumes with the radius of the blast from Beetlejuice, then that'll be bad for us because it'll cause a bunch of it'll basically cut the sun out from us. It'll cause us to probably burn up and cook. Honestly, not to scare you all, but yeah, if we're in the blast radius, because that's a planet blowing up, and it's. But the thing is, it's far away. That's what to keep in mind. It's far away. It's like behind the moon. So the moon's closer to us than the planet Betelgeuse. And they said there might be a chance, which sounds cool because my dreams about the cracked moon. Like once I heard this, I was like, oh crap, maybe that's how the moon cracks or something in our lifetime. But they say there's a chance like they'll line up by the time it really explodes, and then there's a chance that the moon could be blocking the blast wave from. It's probably not gonna block like a whole bunch, but it's probably gonna make a pretty decent line, probably enough survivable line. But it's gonna, basically the moon will take the blast from us for us. And honestly, I don't want that. That sounds like crap. Like, why should the moon do that for us when it's already been taking all these asteroids for us to begin with? And I don't want to look up in the sky and see a cracked moon. That sounds lame. Or even like because if it cracks like that, then it's eventually going to crack into pieces, and then it's not going to look like a moon at all. It's just going to look like a bunch of asteroids. I don't want to see that either. That sounds more scarier than a small solar flashbang. I'd rather get the lights locked. That sounds like the best outcome. If we're not in the blast radius and we just have to go 2 weeks without power, honestly, it might even make a lot of us better people in the end of it, because we could survive that easily when it comes down to it. Now, us on food stamps might have a little bit of a problem on the first couple days, but I suggest we just don't panic and just we'll find a way that we won't starve. That's for sure. They won't let us starve at that point. At least I hope not. They sure. As long as as long as we don't have to go to a hospital for it, their help, and we're good to go. If they have to help us in our territory, then they have to. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know, man. This is a really crazy world we live in. But I tell you what, I can't wait to see what it does look like when Betelgeuse explodes, because they say it's gonna light up the whole night of space. We're gonna be able to see basically all like not well probably all the stars, yeah, all the stars in our solar system, or at least everyone around there where it blows up at on that side. That sounds cool. I make the joke where it's like, I feel like when that does happen, I'll pull out my camera and start recording, and I'll zoom in or something, and we'll see like the giant far off in space, like, and he'll look at me and be like, get mad or something, like, stop recording me.